just a bit. V. Kalyan Rama, he's the CMD at Container Corp, is waiting by. Mr. Rama, thanks so much for joining in. Industry reports, sir, have indicated a pickup in container volumes in the second half. How is the EXIM segment looking versus domestic? And overall, what kind of industry volume growth are we looking at for the remainder of the year?
Morning. Yes, EXIM is expected to do well in the next financial year. The volumes, that it's okay. It's not a very big pickup, but growth is there. As we have given the guidance for this financial year of 12%, I think we are on the track. We will be able to achieve that in this financial year. It's in the first 3 quarters we had almost there without any slip in the volume growth as well as the bottom line growth. Bottom line growth was good, so I had in fact revised my guidance that maybe from the 12% bottom line growth we can look upward towards north, going maybe up to 20%. So I hope my forecasts I will be able to fulfill whatever I have promised after the 3rd quarter results.
Okay. In the earlier years, Mr. Rama, we've seen how cargo volume growth via road had taken share from the railways. How is the picture looking currently? Because railways have increased double stacking with improved connectivity to ports, multimodal logistics parks, as well as container freight stations.
See what happened in 2014, there was a freight increase, and then in 2015 March, the 2nd stage freight increase was done by the railways. That was at a time a 33% increase was done. So that actually put a lot of pressure on railway freight rates compared to the road. And in addition to that, the crude prices started coming down during that period, so road became more cheaper. So it's a big competition happened from road to railways. But now over the years there is no further increase with the railways. So there is the effect of increase has petered down, and then so there is now more or less competitiveness has come back to the rail tariffs. And the thinking is that railway is very keen on increasing the freight share, which is lost to the road. So we expect the things to go in a more semblance now compared to the road. So the competitiveness, I hope, will be maintained between rail and road. And as you mentioned, the connectivity and the mobility part, with a lot of inputs going into railways for the last 3 years, almost 3.5 lakh crores was spent in railways on mobility aspects and safety aspects of Indian Railways, and the total budget to be spent in 5 years was estimated to be around 8 to 8.5 lakh crores. That will definitely give a lot of relief. And dedicated freight corridor now officially announcement is March 2020. That is going to be a game changer for the rail remote transport compared to the road.
The direct freight corridor officially has been delayed to 2020. Are you reasonably optimistic that by 2020 it will be up and running, or there are chances that you may have to relook at your guidance for 2020 also?
I'm not doing any guesswork on the DFC. Whatever my colleagues, DFC colleagues working in dedicated freight corridor, I'll go by their guidance. I think the guidance given by 2020 should happen. And we are working and we are making our facilities ready. And in fact, they are already up and running at 3 locations. And 2 more locations will be ready by the time the DFC starts functioning. So that we are absolutely ready to take on immediately the benefits once the DFC starts functioning in the March 2020.
My next follow-up question would be on exports. Indian exports have not been strong, and given that global growth is opening up, if exports they pick up, what could be the immediate impact on your total, total business and total cargo activity?
You see, logistics is always the problem in logistics is the imbalance between the two-way traffic. So in EXIM sector, being India having less exports compared to imports, there is always a challenge of positioning either empty rakes or empty containers back to port. If exports pick up, this imbalance will come down. That means less cost to us and the margins should increase. So we are trying to improve upon our margins by doing more of double stacking in this financial year in the first 3 quarters. This double stacking addresses to some extent the imbalance problem. If exports pick up, that will address much more and the imbalance issue will come down. So that automatically reduces the empty running costs and improve the margins.
Okay. You've also been taking various initiatives like setting up of distribution logistics centers in the PPP mode. How is it that the progress is being made on these, and what will be the capex intensity over the next couple of years compared to what we've seen in the past to ensure volume growth outpaces trade and economic growth as well?
See, first I'll answer the question regarding the capex intensity. The capex, we have given a plan of in the next 5 years, that's means 17 to 22. The first year is getting over in this FY. We talked of around maybe 5,000 to 8,000 crores depending on the plans as they materialize and as the economy improves upon. This capital is mainly towards reaching the target 100. Today we are at 77 locations as on date. So we made all our plans ready. By 2020 we will be at 100 locations, in which 90 we will be owning and 10 we will have the exclusive arrangements, which today we are having at 7 locations. All the distribution logistics what I am talking of, serving India by 20 logistics centers combined with our 100 MMLPs and ICDs. These 20 logistics centers will be more or less asset lights because they are being developed in triple P mode. The developers will be our partners in business. They develop the infrastructure and also they will be associating with us in the business, in the distribution business. So the brand name will be CONCOR, the umbrella organization is CONCOR, but we'll be working very closely with these developers at all the locations. So there is not much of capex program for this distribution logistics. It's a very minimum, only for the operational part of it and maybe some of the, on the software side, if some requirement is there, we will be developing that network and software required for the distribution logistics. So that will be not taking much of our capex program. Capex program is mainly for the development of our target 100. So there's 23 more ICDs which we'll be developing and which mostly we'll be owning maybe around 20 and 3 tie-ups. In addition to this, we are also talking of developing integrated logistics manufacturing zones, which already we announced that we signed an MOU with the Andhra Pradesh government to develop one such facility at Machilipatnam where 1,000 acres has been identified by Andhra Pradesh government. So we are thinking of developing 6 such facilities in India. They are also more or less asset light, but there will be a little bit of capex program into that, maybe around 1,000 crores at all these 6 sectors.
Okay. So since you're not talking numbers and you won't give us a guidance, Mr. Rama, tell us how is the underlying business and mix and realization trajectory shaping up? Are we seeing sequential improvement in the 4th quarter going by trade and commerce indicator, even as fuel prices have increased, and that's going to impact also the upcoming e-way bill, which remains an uncertainty, and these are going to be 2 factors which I guess would play on your business.
See, e-way bill is not going to affect us, but one thing is imports has no e-way bill. On the export side, on the rail mode transport, there were some clarifications have come, so there is not much of problem on this e-way bill side, and we are almost in, even if e-way bill is introduced for the road bridging part of the export, we are already prepared for that. You know, when we implemented the GST on July 1st, we rolled it out at the stroke of the midnight without any problems to any of our customers. And as you said, of course, I don't give guidance, and things are bright, definitely, as we have given 3 quarters good results, and continuously we are maintaining our upstream, and all of my investors are happy with the performance. I hope I will not disappoint them.
Well, Mr. Rama, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. Well, markets are not exactly struggling, but they are down. A 65-point cut on the Nifty for me is not like a scary cut, but the market